Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookahanonymous_. Alright, we're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookahanonymous_. Alright, now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, about a week ago, paperwork started to circulate around social media in regards to FBG Duck's murder. Although certain names in the paperwork was blocked, the statements included that a bounty was placed on FBG Duck's head, where it was a $50,000 bounty, which was later raised to $100,000. Now, it's being alleged that the bounty was placed by late rapper Davon Bennett, aka King Von. Now, the paperwork also includes an informant that tells the police that Muwop has carried out multiple murders to further OBlock as a gang. Now, we did a video breaking this down already. I'll leave a link to it pinned in the comments so y'all can check it out and get a better understanding that way. But as for now, let's speak on FBG Duck making the front paper and having a $100,000 bounty on his head, along with new evidence that this article has revealed. Now, here's the reason I think this article is more than what people understand. When something is published in the news, not only social media, but the actual news and newspaper, is usually some truth to it. Because it has to be more credible than just the average post by a blogger on social media. So if y'all remember when the paperwork saying that a bounty was placed on FBG Duck's head and how there's an informant involved and Muwop was accused of having multiple murders, automatically everyone thought the paperwork was fake. Some people were in denial, saying that the names didn't match and it was false information, but now it's clear that the paperwork may have been true because everything that was in that paperwork has now been published officially in the Chicago newspaper. Which means that, pretty much the information had to come from a credible source and not just Instagram or YouTube because they don't get down like that. Now that we know that, it's confirmed that someone is cooperating and telling the law everything they know. And the stuff that we're being told is just the tip of the iceberg because earlier this week, Mama Duck even announced on Instagram that there will be more arrests in Duck's murder case as well, hinting that there were more people who played a role in his death other than the 5 that we just know that are incarcerated. Now also, in the Chicago Sun-Times article covering the recent evidence, if you pay attention to it, it confirms the paperwork that was released does have some type of validity to it. Now here's the first thing. The article says, quote, "Another tipster told investigators Duck had a price on his head, the records show. The name of the person said to have placed the bounty was redacted, but the informant offered some crucial identifying information saying the person bought custom-made necklaces for members of the Black Disciples OBlock faction." Now, this is where King Von comes in, because although he wasn't named as a suspect, like they said his name verbally, they're saying that the informant told the police that the person who did it was a Black Disciple and he bought OBlock chains as a reward for the hit. Now, if y'all remember, King Von actually went to Icebox and he brought chains for everybody, and I guess that's how they put 2 and 2 together because of what the informant said and then what they see on social media. Not to mention, FBG Duck was killed August 4th of 2020, and the webisode of King Von going to Icebox aired on August 14th. Alright, now the article says, quote, "An FBI affidavit filed in March 2021 seeking permission to examine data from cell phones belonging to 3 suspects in the shooting noted that the slain rapper King Von, real name Davon Bennett, had appeared in a YouTube video posted days after Weekly's killing that shows him acquiring valuable OBlock pendants for his associates." So just like we just said already, I guess now they have actual proof from the cell phones. I don't know if they mean they was watching it or some in the messages said that it was for the hit. Who knows? But they did say that the video was in the suspect's phone, so I don't know however they're going to try to conclude that. But anyway, it says Bennett is perhaps the most notable figure associated with OBlock, a set linked to the Parkway Gardens low-income housing development near 64th Street and South Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Now, another part of the article says, quote, "The FBI affidavit says Bennett talked in the YouTube video about different jewelry designs for particular members of his crew including Muwop and C Murder. Now, Muwop and C Murder are two of the suspects that they currently have. So that's how they put two and two together and place King Von in this, which is a little sketchy to me because whether he brought them change or not, you have to prove that he brought it as a reward for the hit. You know, although Muwop and C Murder had chains bought for them, that was just them. You know, that it wasn't just them guys that he bought chains for. It was more than, more than just two chains. So you can't specifically say that the reason was based on it being a successful hit on Duck, unless you could further prove it. Now, if they got that, then that's just a whole nother story. But here's where they tell us more information on how he was caught in the Gold Coast. Although they still haven't revealed the name of the person who dropped FBG Duck's location, the article says, quote, according to the police records, a friend said Weekly had been leery of letting people know his whereabouts because he has received death threats from opposing gang members in the drill rap scene. He had reason to be worried. Police reviewed surveillance footage from another Oak Street store and heard someone on a cell phone saying he saw Duck less than half an hour before the shooting. Now, the person on the phone walked into the Montclair store with someone else saying someone with a gun was giving chase. All right, so pay attention to that, because once again, I'm sure if they know all this, they gotta have surveillance. They just said that they have surveillance. So if they know all this, then they clearly know who dropped the location because they seen the person on surveillance camera. However, they're not going to say exactly who right now because the case is still ongoing. But just know that if they're saying all this, then you could bet your bottom dollar that they know exactly who did what. Mama Duck already gave us kind of a hint on who it may be, but it's not certain that it's him, so I'm not going to put that jacket on him and put that light on him just yet because we don't want to do that. But y'all know what's going on if y'all been paying attention. Now, the article included that a search warrant affidavit proves that OBlock members rushed out of OBlock after receiving Duck's location 20 minutes prior to him being shot. We already knew that part. And we also knew that investigators used automated license plate readers and various cameras to track the car's path to the crime scene, which means that they know for a fact the car came from OBlock and who the car belongs to because it was registered to one of the individuals, actually two, if I'm not mistaken. And if they track the car from OBlock, 9 times out of 10, they seen who got inside it as well. So it's no longer a question of who was there because they know who. It's starting to boil down to who did what and who's going to tell who did what. So aside from the OBlock surveillance, the affidavit describes how the suspects killed Duck in the Gold Coast. And the way they describing it is clear as day that they have surveillance footage. I don't know if they're going to put it out because maybe it's too gruesome, whatever the case may be. I know a lot of times they try to withhold, surveillance of somebody being shot and killed, but these days they just put anything out there, so I don't put it past them. However, they have footage. I don't know from which store, but they clearly have footage, which lets me know that they know exactly who fired the shots and did what. Now, here's why. The article says, quote, at 4:26 p.m. on the day of the shooting, the cars pulled in front of Weekly's girlfriend's sedan on Oak Street, according to the affidavit, and 2 men jumped out of the Ford and targeted Weekly, and 2 others got out of the Chrysler and fired at the rapper and his girlfriend. The gunmen then drove off in the 2 cars, which were registered to Orford and Robertson. Now, the police records show investigators had high confidence linking ballistic evidence recovered at the scene to 5 other shootings in which 1 person was killed and 5 wounded. No one has been arrested in those shootings according to court records. So, for y'all that don't know, Orford is Los Mona and Robertson is Kenny Mack. If y'all remember in the paperwork, it says that Kenny Mack was also offering information and common sense to tell us that he was because they got him red-handed. Him and Los, they got them red-handed. If the car is registered to them, it's but so much you can say if they have your car tied to the crime scene. You can say, oh, I wasn't in the car, or I gave the car to someone else. But guess what the next question is? Okay, well, who? Who you gave the car to? Who had your car? What was they doing in the car? Why they asked you for the car? When did they ask you for the car? Do you know where they was going? Oh, you didn't know they had your car? Okay. Yeah, okay. So, if anything, Kenny Mack and Los will be their main targets out of everybody because they're the easiest. They actually have them tied. Then it says that they linked ballistic evidence from the crime scene to 5 other shootings that they may tie them to as well. Kenny Mack himself, aside from Duck, was charged with first-degree murder, where a man was killed and 2 women were injured in a separate, shooting or whatever the case may be. Which means that it's not just Duck murder neither. So he's up against a lot right now, And keep in mind, Muwap the only one with a paid lawyer in this situation for whatever reason. Who knows? So it's sticky. So the moral of the story is this. I feel they have a lot more, but of course they can't expose everything. Judging from what they already told us, I know they have actual surveillance footage. They have to. It's 2 main stores. You got the Montclair store, the Dolce & Gabbana store, this store, that store, NA in the Gold Coast. I've been saying this from when this first happened. They was kind of sloppy with it, man, because although they did have Duck's drop, and I said this before too, Duck probably knew that he was bugging out going to the Gold Coast like that, right? But he also probably didn't think that dudes would crash out like that and actually kill him in the Gold Coast where it's nothing but cameras. You see, it's nothing but cameras. So it's like, all right, do I take the chance? I do gotta give my son something for his birthday. You know what? Let me just hurry up and do this. Because at the end of the day, there's no way people are gonna crash out and do a shooting up here. But they did. And now it's leading to their demise because, just like we said, it's too many cameras around. So what I think is happening right now, they're scraping up all the information that they can. I'm referring to the police. And just trying to see what they can come up with, as at this point. Because I'm pretty sure that the surveillance is telling enough. They don't need nothing else. Now, before we get out of here, I'm not going to say any names, but all I'm going to say is we also need to think outside the box when considering some of this information. Stop just going for what we're told as well. Yes, the 5 guys who are considered suspects are in custody for the murder. However, there's been other OBlock members and affiliates who have been locked up and facing their own situations. Who's to say they aren't offering information to ease their own cases that they have going on? Who's to say that there isn't other informants on the case other than the individuals that we know are arrested for his murder? It'll be the perfect cover up because nobody would expect it. So just think about the other OBlock members or OBlock affiliates who are locked up right now or was locked up and released. I'm not saying any names. I just like to cover all bases, and cover all possibilities, and we free think like that. But other than that, y'all jump in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel. Let me know what y'all think. It's a lot coming out. Once again, y'all thought the paperwork was fake. Well, some of us, we just wasn't sure. That's what I'm gonna say. We wasn't sure whether it was real or fake, but this pretty much just confirms that it was real. All right. So y'all jump in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm gonna keep on dropping. And I'm out.